Gail.
Yes. Emma, when we spoke last week, you said you desperately needed a game. How much did the weekend help blow away a few cobwebs then?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. We need to get back into a rhythm. I think I say this to the players all the time, and I'm not altogether sure that everywhere really recognises that the rest of the league is at a much higher level than it's ever been. So we're playing a West Ham team, they're full of internationals, 9 internationals on the pitch. We're playing a quality team. We're not entitled to qualify because we've been there in the past. And even though our expectation is to progress, the realities are everybody has gone up a level, and everybody in our group has to keep finding that individually first and then collectively. So I think it was a good challenge, and I would much rather have that than one that felt too easy as a starting game.
I know you've played without Sam before, but off the back of that news, when you're playing a game like that, when you've had as much possession and had as many shots, I guess it just brings into focus what you as a group need to do without her, and how your players, I guess, have to respond to that and step up.
Yeah, I think so, and I think there's been good conversation this week between the team and with us about the things we have to do to get to that point. It's a collective responsibility, it's a team. I think we've all identified the right areas, but we have to put it into action, and the reality is there are top players on our team that are capable of contributing to the goals, and it's important for them to step up, like it was for Mia when she came off the bench, but also Aggie Beaver-Jones. She's producing such a goal threat every time she comes into the game. So no matter who you are, everybody has to take responsibility.
And just a word on Sam, she came through surgery okay?
She did.
She's on the mend. I guess
Yeah.
when you've had the surgery, you kind of can park it, and that's one thing done, and
Yeah.
now it's just rehab.
Yeah, I think the first part is really just recovering from the surgery, let the swelling go down. So she's still in that phase at the moment, but she's doing good.
Yeah. I know you don't look at points, and I know you don't look at points from tables till the third week in May or something. But in terms of just approaching, I don't know.
Well, I was just thinking of Jim from Bullseye when you said that. Points, mix, prizes. Yeah, sorry. Stay in the red and out the black. There's nothing in this game for two in a bed.
Yeah. And you can win a caravan.
Loved it.
Yeah. Or
Tea
a boat
set.
if you lived in the middle of
Tea
London.
set was the best. I always wanted that tea set. My mum and dad always wanted it.
Brilliant. And it was often actually your dad that pointed out, wasn't it, how many points you had and where you were on the table.
Yeah.
But you get a sense of and a feel after 5 times of winning the league. We're almost halfway through. Are you where you thought you'd be? Are you where you wanted to be?
I'm sure you'd expect me to say something, calculated around that. But I definitely don't. I'm someone who really respects everyone, every team we play. I really recognise, no matter who you are, that teams have really added to their squads, and as a result of that, there isn't an easy game in the league. So my whole approach to things is take nothing for granted. Entitlement for me is probably linked with complacency. I think those two things, sometimes we think to ourselves, well, we've been here before, therefore we know how to do it going forward. I don't believe that either. I do think maybe it gives you some knowledge. I think the reality is we're playing against hungry teams who are looking to take that title off of us. So everybody's vying for it. And do I think it's different this year? Yes, because I think we're top. We've usually been in second in this position, but that doesn't change our thinking or our approach. It just means we're top at this moment in time, and that's it.
The other big news this week is Serena extending her contract. What were your initial thoughts? It came maybe as a little bit of a surprise, timing maybe, I don't know.
I think you'd have to ask Serena if it was a surprise. Of course, I'm happy for her. It's a great contract to be leading England through the World Cup, and I hope to see her there.
And do you think it's a good move? I mean, your experience, I guess, is from your players that go away to camps and come back. What do you feel that the job she's done with them as well as the national team is? Where else do you think she could go?
Yeah, I mean, incredible job, incredible manager, deserving of, where she is and what she's got. I think a smart move from England, and England know they've got a top manager, and I think stability is important. So England are in a stable position going forward to build towards the next Euros, the next World Cup, and she's deserving of everything she gets.
A lot was made when we were sort of speaking to her towards the latter part of the tournament that she was the only female coach, coaching a World Cup. I mean, it's important, I guess, that there are a few more of you around, and if she's sort of staying on, and you're hopefully in those latter stages as well, that's a pretty important message to send out.
Well, you have to qualify for the World Cup first, so I don't think we can talk about a World Cup. There's qualification at some point or another, but of course it's a great representation to have someone like Serena competing for final games, and she's proved time and time again with Netherlands, with England, that she knows how to lead teams to victory and to the top games, and I know her well enough to know she's hugely competitive, and she will continue to push that group.
Friends till May, she said about you. She'll be friends with you till May, and after that, I'm not sure there'll be any calls from her to you.
Probably. No, I listen, we're competitors. I'm sure when it's time for us to go up against each other, it'll be fun. In the meantime, we've got to get, everything right so we can get the England players at Chelsea right for her, so she can prepare her team for the internationals. And I don't know what the next stage is. Is it Nations League? Friendlies.
They're not going to Olympics, like some people in this room, and just finally then, a word on Millie Bright.
Yeah.
Any chance this weekend, or?
No. No chance. I don't think yet. Do I think it will be before international break? No, I don't.
Brilliant, thank you.
Thanks, Gail. We'll go to Emma on BBC Sport, please, on Zoom. Thanks, Em. We're struggling to hear you, Em.
Next.
Maybe it's because you didn't say a surname.
Emma Sanders. Let's try again.
Can you not hear us?
There we go. It's the surname trick. Yeah, go again, Em. We've got you now. Thank you.
You got it now? Okay, fab. Hi, Emma.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Sorry, I've just noticed there's a bit of a light behind me. It's shining me up like some kind of angel. It's a bit off-putting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask about Natalie Vaughan, because obviously following up on Millie's absence over the next couple of weeks, but yeah, I just wanted to find out what you made of her time so far at the club and how she's settling in.
Yeah, I mean, she's settled in so well. She's a natural leader and very confident in her own abilities. I think what's helpful, she knows the league. She's played against every team. She's prepared to play in the WSL, and as I said, she's a player we've been looking at for a long time. We felt the time was right, with it given her age and her experience, and she's come in, she's hit the ground running. I thought she made a massive impact when she came on the other day against West Ham. She's had a good training week, but of course we're still adapting to her and vice versa, but I don't think she could have asked for a better start.
Yeah, just looking ahead to the game on the weekend, obviously Manchester United. I know, looking at the table, all of us on the outside will say that they're quite far off it, but I just wondered what your views were in terms of the title race. Do you still see Man United as title contenders, given they are sort of 7 points behind you?
Yeah, of course I do. I think they've demonstrated that the last couple of years. They know how to stay in that race, and there are still many turns to happen across the rest of the season, and You know, I think they certainly have more goal threats than they've ever had. So again, I don't underestimate Man United, and they for sure are in the title race, considering, you know, the number of players they've signed and the quality that they've got amongst their ranks.
Yeah, a bit of a general question, but I've been looking at some of the types of players that WSL clubs have been signing over the last couple of windows, and there seems to have been quite a few more from the Asian market, the likes of, you know, Japanese players, Chinese players. You obviously signed G, well, over a decade ago now, I think it is. So you were probably one of the first managers to bring an Asian player into the league. So I just wondered what your thoughts were on that area, perhaps being a growing market for WSL clubs, and how scouting might have developed so that, you know, players from further afield are now starting to come to the WSL.
Look, there's only so many players a team can sign, so it's natural that, you know, the internationals that are eligible to play to get a GBE, there's only going to be a certain amount of countries that are going to get automatic GBEs to play. So it's of no surprise, and I've said it many times in many press conferences, I genuinely believe sometimes we give the rest of a league a hall pass. Everybody's got a good budget, everybody's got a professional outfit, everybody's got the ability to beat everybody. It's not like there are any amateur teams here. So you got to expect that whether you're Leicester, whether you're West Ham, you know, whether you're Tottenham, they're able to attract and recruit the top players from around the world. And I've always said it's a really good thing for the league, and bringing that diversity into the league, I think, just adds to the complexities of every game and the challenges of every game, because it is really, really different, say, going up and playing against Ueki, for example, versus playing a H Daily, and you're dealing with very, very different situations, which I think only help players improve. So it's of no surprise to me. I'm a big fan of the Asian market, and I'm sure with GBE, if it was to at some point be adapted for other places further afield, then we would see the best of their talent come here too.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Thanks, Emma. All the best.
Thanks.
Any more for any more? Sure.
Hi, Emma. Just wondering, Central available this weekend, everyone come to Wolves?
Yeah. Just Millie. Just Kat Macario. I'm always really bad at these moments.
Give or take. It's about
Yeah.
right, yeah. And I just wanted to follow up on speaking about Aggie earlier.
Yeah.
As so often is the case in sport, a person's injury opens the door for other people.
Yeah.
How do you see the second half of the season looking for her after a few really exciting cameos in recent weeks?
I think it's fair to say she's playing that role very well. She's coming from the bench. She's a goal threat. She's built her way into the team, and she's gaining everything on merit. You know, she really is. She pushes every day to be where she is. I think you can also appreciate, you know, having 1 year's experience in the league at Everton and being a Chelsea player with the experience of, say, Guru Wrighton, there's still a gap in terms of consistency, and that's to be expected. But I think Aggie will play a pivotal role for us in the second half. I say it again, she's a goal threat. Every time she gets into a great area, and she always gets a goal-scoring opportunity. And I think for those reasons, she's always going to knock on the door to play. And she will get the opportunities to play. But equally, you win a game over 90-plus minutes. And I think the role she's got when teams are a little more stretched out, there's more space. I think she thrives and comes alive with a little more spaces. As you know, Chelsea have to play a lot of low-block teams. And I think it's a different type of game, and you require a different skill set. And for me, that's the next steps for her to develop, how she plays from the start against those type of situations. But I think she will be critical.
And just finally, it's going to be quite a big occasion on Sunday. Two big, very good teams, big crowd at Stamford Bridge. Not many more of those occasions for you that's sort of running out. Are you taking a bit of time to sort of reflect on it and sort of appreciate it at the time, or is it it's just usual?
No, I mean, Argyle and I, we had a chat about it earlier. He asked me how I was feeling about it all, and I said to him, listen, it's another game. I'm always really mindful and very present as a human being, so I don't get I don't get too far ahead of anything, or I don't get stuck in the past. I'm really good at just being grateful, and I'm sure that will be the case again at the weekend. And though I know this big clock keeps winding down, at least in terms of what everybody says to me, I for one, I'm not thinking about it, and for sure Argyle isn't either.
Yep.
Hi Emma. You put Lauren James in that 9 role at the weekend.
Yeah.
In replacement for Stamford. Is that a position that we can expect to see more from her?
Yeah, I think, listen, Lauren again has a great goal threat. She has the ability to do that. But it's important we're able to stretch beyond her if she is to play that role. So I think getting those combinations right are important. I think both Mia and Lauren and even Aggie will all play their part in the 9 role. But equally, Lauren dropped into a 10 role in the second half, and I think she was instrumental in our performance. But when you lose a player like Sam Kerr, you have to find other ways, and sometimes you have to do that in a game to see what works. And for us, we have the luxury to be able to play Lauren first half in that position and Mia second, and it was enough for us to get the result. I think going forward, those 3 players will be considered for that position.
And you said to me on Sunday it looked like you hadn't had a game since December. Are you expecting to kind of return to form this weekend against a big side like Manchester United?
I hope so, but I don't think of it like that. Like, you just need a bit of momentum. Sometimes when you get a break like that, it takes a couple of weeks to and it'd be the same for Manchester United. It's not just about us. It just takes a couple of weeks and a couple of games just to get your rhythm again. But I think we found that from extra time onwards last week, and that our goal is to build off of that. And I think we've had a really good training week.
And finally, the transfer window closes in less than 2 weeks. Are we expecting to see anyone else walk in blue anytime soon?
I wouldn't rule it out, simply because the window's open, and I think for us as a club, we will always look at options. Those decisions aren't made by me, but I would say that while the window is open, we will always be considering players.